So now the suffering part of the equation uh, in a desktop migration from Windows to Linux. My name is Ricardo Cavero. I'm the Chief Information Officer of the City Council of Zaragoza. We're going through in a high-level vision about our presentation, what we did and what we are currently doing in our way to migrate the whole set of desktop within the City Council. It's my pleasure also to introduce you Mr. Jesus and Mr. Eduardo, who are here with me. They are the technical managers of this project. I'm not going to make a technical talk, so if you have any question, any technical issue, you might ask them for a deep response. Okay, so next, right? Okay, so why migrate if we stay so good? So are we crazy? Well, three main reasons. There are a bunch of reasons, but three main of I like to highlight today. First, we were under a desktop migration wasn't in the agenda. Okay, so at that time we were thinking on migrate the desktop already. Talking about 2005. So we were searching for new solutions, where to go. Second, a strong pressure also from vendors to upgrade license cost at that time. Remember, those were the golden ages. And in the case of the City Council, a company that you already know, were asking for us about 500,000 euros per year in licenses, so in plastic. So second reason. And third, flaws, free software was in the political agenda already. So those were the main reasons. Here in Zaragoza, we followed a top-down approach in this migration. It doesn't matter, it doesn't mean it is good or bad, follow a top-down or bottom-up approach when taking this decision, but getting the stakeholders involved, it's a different way in any way. So, but in my opinion, having decision makers or top political levels already involved in the project, it's easier, in my opinion, although I know very successful projects that have been working in a bottom-up approach in Spain, for instance. Whoops. Next. So we did, So we make up our minds. We, even in 2005, we have another situation going on. During the city debate of the state of the city, the council encouraged the local government as well to promote free software over the desktop. So that helped us a lot as well. We did our numbers. Numbers are always worse than expected. This is always happens. And we made a budget proposal mainly for three chapters. First, training, then technical support for our team, and finally, hiring people or resources to make things happen. So political support, budget, then, of course, a plan. And this was our roadmap. Okay, we started, as Daryl said, with the easy part of the project, trying to migrate easy things like email clients, browsers, and things like that, prior to introduce the OpenOffice, which is by far the terrible thing. That's the problem. Linux is not the problem. OpenOffice is what really matters, as you can imagine. But this strategy allows us to very softly, very subtle, introduce the concept of open source, free software, and the change among all the public employees, and get them ready on what was about to come at those times. Meanwhile, the team was developing a prototype, a Linux prototype, fully operational, based on SLED, Novell. We were partners from Novell since a very long time. So, the natural shift for us was to follow Novell as soon as they got SUSE. We started with SLED. At that time, I have to mention that we have a slight conflict of interest between me and the technical team. In my case, requesting them to please do a pilot as soon as you can, and the technical team saying we need to do things right. We need to get things working, otherwise it is going to be a failure. But when you are in the other side and you have political pressure also to get things happen, well, that struggle usually happens in an organization like the City Council. And then afterwards we moved to OpenSUSE, and then now we are in a new stage. We are looking backwards. We are now preparing next step for the coming years, and we are now prototyping a Ubuntu desktop. So in the flexibility versus stability compromise, as we speak about desktop, we shift the knob slightly to flexibility. Okay? If we were speaking about servers, of course, stability is prior. We did also a great effort in communicating the project to everyone. We make talks we invited everyone in the municipality, general talks. We did also individual talks with managers and of services and departments, making everyone informed on the decision and its consequences. We trained everyone. Everyone using a desktop in the City Council was trained in using OpenOffice and afterwards Linux. 20 hours OpenOffice course plus 8 hours Linux training. And we use also hardware upgrades as a stimulus. If you want a new PC, you are a candidate to move to Linux. Okay, so yeah, and of course we provided during those times a closed support to the new users. This migration also allow us to make a software inventory, allow us to enter, the caves spread all over the City Council and see what was going on there, and make and we realized then the sick amount of Microsoft Access developed by developers wannabe, by the way. Many of them out of our supervision. I would like to highlight that Microsoft Access in wrong hands is the IT weapon of massive destruction. So it can be, from my perspective, one of the main issues that can significantly reduce or delay or risk a migration. How many access do you have in your organization? Well, these are the numbers. We have 700 public employees working every day with Linux. We have 2,500 that are not working in Linux every day. All of them working with OpenOffice, which is a great step forward in my opinion. But, 22% of desktop in Linux, including vice mayor is working in Linux every day as well. So politicians can work with Linux. It's a finding, and nothing happens. And but leaving numbers apart, I would like to raise two clear conclusions at this time. First, it can be done. It can be done, even in the worst scenario as we have here. I think, well, I don't know many other situations or any other projects, but we have here a really complicated scenario. So it can be done. Second, takes time, takes a lot of time. So, well, every deployment is a case, but takes time. And the question is whether you have time or not to keep this project going on. And this is a risk, a real risk, as we have here. You know what's going to happen if the project is not yet unstoppable. You don't know what is going to happen when new political team arrives. So it's we need to make things unstoppable at this point. There is always technical solutions, as you can imagine. We faced any technical issue you can imagine, and we've gathered an incredible expertise with our local team. So they could make a new company, a business company, and sell their expertise, for sure. Main topics, as you can imagine, formats, document formats, macro, migrating Excel to Calc. It's headaches, makes headaches, okay? It's not automatic in most of the huge spreadsheets. And of course, emulating access or migrating access. I just want to make the point at this time that even in the case we didn't go to Linux, the sick amount of access should have to be migrated to the corporative system. So this is something that is leveraging the shift to the corporative system. Okay, so this is not it doesn't matter if you go to Linux or to Windows. I think it's unacceptable to have uncontrolled deployments everywhere on every desktop around the organization. We struggle very much with authentication systems, trying to get users fully authenticated through our servers. Also with digital certificates. As you can imagine, we in Spain use the digital ID. It's a physical card, so in order to use the electronic administration systems, we have to make that working also in the desktop. We are about to finish a migration tool that will help us to make things the more automatic as we can in migrating every desktop. And we have developed a very interesting application, what we've called migas, which means in Spanish breath scrum. It's the application that allows us to fully control every desktop, to deliver packages, deliver scripts, and whatever. So it's really helpful for us, and it's free, of course, it's free migas. So Eduardo maybe later on could tell more about that application later on. So, but if you get the proper perspective, I think a universe of advantages arise. I'm not saying we are fully owners of our IT future, right? Maybe that's really optimistic, but I can tell you that we are slightly and softly moving that further to the independence, and this is great. This is great, and this is going to, I think this allows us to keep a broader vision and a long-term vision not for now, but also for coming years and coming teams in the future. Of course, flexibility. We don't pay for licenses. We pay for services, which is great. And what are, of course, viruses, 0 viruses yet, right, Daryl? Yeah. And last but not least, something that I really love, we have changed license cost for employment. Okay, so we hired five people. They are working with us since then, and well, I prefer to have those people working in the municipality, getting expertise, and than leaving that amount of money to plastic, just plastic. So this is something to consider. And yeah. I'm not going to forget about issues, main issues. Training. It's a great issue in migration, at least in the public sector. In the public sector, a migration is difficult. Not only, as I mentioned, to Linux, also to Windows, it would be. Expenditure also in training, because it's something that has to happen in the public sector. Frustration, because everything changed. Frustration can easily come. So we have to manage that frustration, and keep in mind always that this is a long-term project. And if you are a pioneer, as we did, you have to take that into account. But anyway, we do not regret at all. 2 more slides. This is not a traditional, in many aspects, it is not a traditional IT project. Many times decisions exceed the technical context. We have to deal with emotions many times. When you get the user, the final user, when you get the manager, it's not about this workshop, it doesn't work. It's about emotions. I don't know why, but when you when you try to change the ophimatics, it's like, rip their dollars or something like that. Yeah, but you feel with you deal with emotions. Most of the resources will go to migrate access and macros. I think we've spent a lot of efforts on that item, and even though you follow a bottom-up approach, you need top-level support to make things happen. On the other hand, we have collateral improvements like unveil and control deployments, and help to move all those access to corporative system and to integrate all that data to the corporative system, which is really a great point. And in this jump, there are also good partners out there. Why we move to Ubuntu? Well, first, the LTS, long-term support, is good for us. It's really good for us. We cannot change a release very often, so having 5 years of support of our release is a great thing for us. We've got Zentyal here in Zaragoza, which is another good point. And the Ubuntu community, we think the Ubuntu community is just great. So that's the third point that we like to mention. We are not afraid at all of change, more excited and encourages to continue our challenge. And the future, well, 2 things. We would like to spread all the acknowledgement toward the city. So that's something that I really think we are missing. We have a great experience here. We should spread that experience to citizens and also to local companies in Zaragoza. We haven't done that yet, but we have to. Second, find out a way of cooperation between, let's say, Canonical, Zentyal, universities, everything, to really, really make that free software makes innovation and new companies. So we sense that, we think about that, but this is not really happening yet in our city, although we have a great company like Zentyal here working. So, but I think this is something to think about in the future. And that's all. These are the contacts. And well, I will be happy to answer any question you might have. If I can't, Eduardo and Jesus are here with me. They will be happy to help us. Thank you.